Egalitarian and complementarian debate. Let's go. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. That's not what you clicked on. It's not what we're doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're going to have a little fun topic today on I'm Telling About This podcast. We're going to do favorite things, a segment that I'm calling Favorite Things This Week. Yeah! Okay,
Yay!
So favorite things this week. We're going to go around and each kind of contribute. I'm going to tell you what my favorite thing this week, and then I'm going to hear, Josh and Nick give a great example and how Tim's going to crap all over my opinion.
I was more prepared to argue egalitarianism than my favorite things.
No, okay, so let's get into it. My favorite thing this week, and I don't know if you could tell, but I'm a little bit of a nerd, a little bit of a geek. I would say geek. That has a better aesthetic to it. Geeks are people that are successful. Nerds,
I thought it was the other way
Nerds are
around.
girls in glasses on OnlyFans nowadays.
For those of you listening, he's wearing a Matrix t-shirt.
Hey,
and that's an infinity gauntlet that my wife made on his bookshelf.
It was awesome, and I've got two of them.
Yeah.
We're gonna we'll have a raffle for the other one. All right. So my favorite thing this week, I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan, but it's been dead. It has been dead for a while now.
Oh,
ever
yeah.
since the
Like,
new
let it die.
episode.
It's so annoying.
Yeah. What is it? Force Awakens and
I grew up reading the books, and they were so
Yeah.
amazing. I have such an imagination around the Star Wars universe that I just unplugged from all this other crazy stuff they've been putting out.
And that's what makes it so frustrating to me, Nick. They have good story. They have good content on the expanded universe. They have good stuff, right? With Thrawn and what should have been the trilogy right after the Return of the Jedi, but no, they decided to go and destroy it with mainly I think Rian Johnson. But anyway, it has been dying
Kathleen Kennedy
for
is
a
the
while.
architect of that destruction.
Yes, absolutely. I think that ultimately, yeah. But
Speaking of
ultimately,
women in
there's some
leadership.
pretty bad stuff. So what I'm talking about this week, my favorite thing this week was the Acolyte. And the Acolyte, everybody was talking about, okay, the Acolyte, it's going to be this blurring. In fact, we did an episode.
We were talking
on,
about it.
The Acolyte. We were talking about it before anybody else, but apparently only 54 of you actually heard about it. Anyway, but the thing that I'm saying is we were told and warned about Episode 3, that Episode 3 was going to break this thing, right? So, Episode 3, and it's got all its typical woke, LGBT things in it, and two moms, and witch coven that is the religious
Power of
Jedi
one.
are going to try to eliminate and everything. But then they go into they redefine the Force as a thread. Then they sing this song, the power of one,
Power
the power
of
of
two,
two, the power of many, and it was so bad.
Oh my
I think some of the best memes
cut
out
it
there.
in?
I think my
Without
favorite
getting
one.
I'm never
copyright
gonna
strike?
watch it.
Yeah, we'll cut that in. One of my favorite things about it is one of the best memes or some things I've seen is they're like the power of one, the power of two, the power of many canceling their Disney Plus subscription.
Oh, dude.
Facts.
It is
That was my
worthless
favorite
now.
thing this week. Oh, so
Wait,
good.
so hold on. Your favorite thing can be how much you hate something?
Yes.
Is that...
We know you're going to
No,
be in there.
This is way easier than I thought.
No, absolutely. No, and my thing is
That would
it's
be
not
a
just
segment.
we have been primed, and in fact, the holdover new Star Wars fans that have not been around from the beginning to be insulted in elementary school and junior high wearing their Star Wars shirts because it wasn't cool at the time. Like,
To be
those
fair, you were
people-
wearing a Jar Jar Binks shirt, right?
Okay, well, hold on. Yeah, those people.
No, I'm just kidding.
Not me personally, but yeah, I would
Okay.
make fun of them too.
Right.
But anyway, so that those people that kind of were from the beginning, they left a long time ago, right? They left a long time ago. It's the newer fans that just came on during the Force Awakens and everything. They're like, okay, give it a chance. Mandalorian season 1 was okay, right? There was
was good.
Luke going and taking out those Death Stormtroopers or Death Troopers at
it
the
was
end of
pure
episode or season 2.
nostalgia. I don't know if it was.
And the thing is,
All right, I'm
falling
nostalgia
asleep
only
over here.
goes so far. And so now these new Star Wars fans, they're looking at this and they're like, yeah, that ain't it, guys. Like, I'm out. I'm done.
I'm telling you.
So that's just been my favorite thing, is not just the episode itself is how bad it was, but also the nail in the coffin of Star Wars and its woke future of what it's becoming. That's my favorite thing. What do you guys think? When did you guys
About
leave
that,
Star Wars?
Or what is our? Oh, when did we leave Star Wars? I left Star Wars midway through the whatever the Boba Fett one was.
Mandalorian?
Mandalorian.
No, there was a Boba Fett season.
Oh, the Boba Fett. Yeah, Book of Boba Fett. Yeah.
Oh no, it was Mandalorian. You had it right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was with so I like Gina Carano. I like everything that she stands for, but I think she's not the most greatest actress.
Yeah,
and
she wasn't great.
I was like, guys, it's too much. You're stretching. Anyway,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
No,
I couldn't get
I
through.
agree.
I
Couldn't
lost it.
suspend my disbelief.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
knew I lost it when I never saw The Rise of Skywalker in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I was done after The Last Jedi. I mean, I was done before. Like, I was like, okay, but I was like determined to never watch anything Star Wars again after The Last Jedi. After
you
what
guys are
Rian
killing me.
Johnson did to it.
All that changed for me was I just went from enjoying it to hate watching it, and it's equally enjoyable for me.
I had better things
You know,
to do with my
like
time.
when I watch this stuff now, I'm just like, I can't wait to see what this is going to be like. It's the same reason I watch MSNBC. It's just like,
dumpster fire.
you guys
Dumpster fire.
actually believe, like, do you hear yourselves? And it's just, man, I just leave and I feel like, I feel so much better about myself, and, you know, what I stand for. And, and then I get to go on the internet and hear everyone else who, like, didn't know
Just
that
finally
was
waking
coming.
up.
Just shocked, and I'm like, was it scary for you? You didn't see that coming, did you? It's like when you go on a roller coaster with a friend who's never been on a roller coaster before, and you're like, you're gonna love this part, you know. And it's like half the fun is watching other people react in shock to what you knew all along was going to be the case, and made a whole podcast episode about from like a trailer.
I know,
you should
right?
go watch it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
pretty
we
good.
did that. I forgot.
It was essentially the blurring. The problem is Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia and all of these classic, just these legendary
Tales
stories.
of moral
They're
allegory.
Exactly. They are
Great
black
classics,
and
yeah.
white. You know what good is. You know what evil is. Right? And I would argue that, you know, you might say, oh, well, you don't know what good and evil is, the real world. It's kind of, yeah, there are shades of gray, but, like, ultimately at the end of the day, like, Jedi are not bad. like let's not
Right.
turn it around, you
Right.
know? So,
It's
anyway.
like, let's be
that's,
edgy and
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not cool. This is my point. Is like, this is what we've been talking about. We've talked about this a lot on the podcast. Is this turn, this thing that's changing, the whole concept of like hip to be square. Like, we're going into the 50s, guys. People don't see it yet, but mark my words, that's where we're heading.
Tail fins are coming back.
Being an outlier
Dude.
is not gonna be cool anymore. What's gonna be cool
That's true.
is towing the line of like what right is and what's good, and
It's
like
coming back.
Superman, truth, justice, and the American way. Like, that's what's cool. This whole idea of like, hey kid, come over here and do drugs, and like, hey, I've got some transgenderism over here. Would you like to cut off a body part? Like, no, we're not doing that. Like,
That's a good short.
people are just gonna look at that and they're gonna be like, no,
Well,
that's dumb. And
Jordan
that's where we're
Peterson
headed.
literally just talked about this. He's like, be careful when you start tearing down fences, because the things that those fences were keeping out are going to get in. And we are already seeing that happen. And
Yeah.
I think in the last 5 years, COVID was the massive, huge awakening
Ding
of
dong.
like, the
can't
shift
trust
is
the
now
government.
swinging in a major way. And I'm all here for the ride.
Oh, me
Which
too,
one
man.
of you guys said this, where tradition is the solution to the problems that we've forgotten about?
Oh,
Josh.
I did, but I didn't invent
Oh,
that.
that was
No,
Tim.
Josh's was that tradition was the muscle memory of obedience.
That's
Okay,
what it
that
was.
I
Look at
invented.
You
you
can
guys.
vote in
Memory.
the comments which one of those is better.
One was my actual original thought, and the other one was something Tim read on a.
Right, so
something.
are the odds that I would have curated something really good from the universe of ideas, or that Hughes is just magicking them out of his own gray matter? You decide.
They've been watching the podcast
Muscle
for a while.
memory
so,
of
I mean,
obedience.
What
What does that
what is-
mean? No.
What is
Go
your
ahead.
guys' favorite things? I want to hear. I have mine.
Well, then you go, because I
All right,
didn't
so
know we could choose things we hated.
was, mine was
Favorite thing to hate.
let's just say, in the United States, there was a big shift that took place in the last week and a half, where Trump. This is not a political statement. Where Trump overtly came out of the gate in favor of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and started accepting donations and made a very tactical, strategic play for a very, very large, multiple millions of a community, and said, like, hey, I'm your guy, I'll support you, and I'm about this. Started accepting donations in Bitcoin, and then my favorite thing was, in the silence of the night, sometime in the, like, 12 hours after that happened, all of a sudden on Biden's donation website, there appeared a button that would accept donations for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
How much?
And now Biden is playing catch up, trying to be like, oh, I like it too.
No,
now,
it's just some random intern who put their own wallet address.
Right. And for the cryptocurrency and the Bitcoin maximalists, which is more of where I would fall, it's kind of fun because all of a sudden, unintentionally, no one realized this was going to become a voter issue and a running issue, and both sides now want to look like they're in support of it, which is just further solidifying it into the economic system. And
is that really a voting issue?
It should be.
Oh, yes. It's a huge voting issue.
I understand the philosophy and the people who think it should be a voting issue, but in terms of
I think the last
math,
Trump broke it to begin with.
I think the last math is there's something like, don't quote me on this, like 13 million Americans that have cryptocurrency, and it's just a massive voting block of like, and there was a moment there where the certain party is zero in favor of it, and the Republican Party had a couple like more extremist individuals that were already coming out in support of Bitcoin, and so they kind of started that narrative. And so again, it's politics now. It's just politics now, but it's cool. It's my favorite thing this week.
How much you want to bet Trump, if this is successful, Trump comes up with his own?
There's already a Trump coin.
There's already a Trump
coin. He
coin.
already has an NFT.
Is it really?
Working.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro.
See, this is how far behind I am.
I want to look it up.
There's a Trump coin. I believe there's a Barron coin.
Oh, there's an
Is there
everything
really?
coin.
As well.
And by the
Even
way,
better.
do
Did
not
they
go
organize
buy
it?
Do
Or
not
did
go
somebody
buy it.
else
This is
just-
not advocating for that.
I have no
Is that-
idea.
Oh, okay. I want to say.
I
Like,
just know that they've been deep faking pictures of Barron onto Roman emperors and then using that to pump the bear. That's happening.
Listen here. The DJT token rallied 180%. That just was published 39 minutes ago.
oh my gosh.
On like rumors. So again, like Wild West, do not go invest in like risky cryptocurrency, but it is just hilarious. Anyway, that's my favorite thing this week.
I'm doing it. That's just
Do it.
But apparently there's a Donald Trump
awesome.
quarter-ounce gold round coin selling for $700 on the internet. So, I don't know. People are nuts.
Quarter ounce? That's a little expensive.
I know.
Well, shoot, his signature goes if he get like a if he signs like a piece of paper, like people will buy like for
I got one of those.
$300.
Nice.
My
Yeah.
appointment.
Anyway,
my commission
we
in the
can
army
get
signed
off
by
the
DJ.
politics, but that was my favorite. That was my favorite thing of the week.
That's more like
That's so
meme
funny.
politics, though. That's not real politics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good because that's the only kind we can
All
do
right,
here.
Tim, what was your favorite thing to hate this week?
Oh, I don't know. This is usually so easy for me, but you put me on the spot. Here,
We can come back to you.
You talk for 30 seconds, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah. Okay, well, I have
No, you
absolutely no
specifically. I
shortage
need
of...
you, Anderson,
Yes.
to take a position on something, and that'll be my thing. That I hate the
So
most this week.
the retributive form of justice is pales in comparison to the Judeo-biblical ethic of
All right,
Israel.
and-
No, go for it.
All right,
Chat
I'll go.
GPT is going haywire over here.
I'm getting like
Josh, you
lag
got anything
here.
that your favorite thing this week?
Let me see.
Specifically, I
lagging
would
at all?
say like probably within.
Oh no, you're
within
Apple.
public.
Yeah,
crap.
that's what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
My Apple
Dude,
crap.
that's contentious too, by the way.
All right. So my favorite thing
selling your
this
soul
week
to the
is selling
of
my
Apple?
soul. Yeah, no, I
sold your soul
Full
and
disclosure.
reinvested in your soul.
full disclosure, I am a shareholder in Apple, and I'm fully bought into the cult of Mac. And
And this is not financial advice.
this is not financial advice.
Purely entertainment only.
Purely for entertainment. No, my favorite thing this week was definitely watching Apple just show up and run a masterclass on how to slow play and capitalize on generative AI with Apple Intelligence. So for those of you who don't know, Apple has been slowly working their M series chips and their A series Bionic chips that have basically the ability to do AI on the phone itself without sending off to the cloud. All right, and they've been slowly putting this out there. Well, the cool thing is
AI
not
AI is the technical.
Right, they were
term.
doing AI. Is that the technical term? So the cool thing is this. The cool thing was not the fact that all of the cool things it's going to be able to do. If you want to learn about that, you can go watch the keynote. The cool thing was the moment that I realized while watching the keynote that this would make all previous generations, all non-M series laptops, iPads, and all everything older than an iPhone 15 obsolete in 1 year, and immediately proceeding to purchase Apple stock. That was my favorite thing. And watching it skyrocket in the span of a couple hours. And people haven't even figured that out yet. Again, not financial advice, just one of my favorite things from this week was watching that play out. Yeah, super cool. If you're into it, if you're into computers and stuff, go watch it. It's really neat.
So do you guys think that, so what was Apple saying that, because I know both Dell, Asus, and a few other laptop and desktop manufacturers have moved forward with the Copilot Plus laptop, and so like trying to take advantage or capitalize on AI. But with Apple, you're saying they're doing their own AI, like an actual LLM on board.
More than that.
Probably not LLMs.
No.
The resource requirements for those are beyond.
Because I was going to say that seems to be mostly. Unless they have
mostly
a ridiculous
right.
amount of RAM.
Josh, here's the difference. That's a software. No, that's the exact issue. They have literally built. If you look at the new M series chip, almost a quarter of this, the SoC, the system on the chip, is built specifically to run exclusively neural networks on the phone. Now, the reason for this is very simple. What Apple is doing is created a semantic, I'm going to get the language wrong, don't sue me, Apple, and branded this basically the ability for your phone to take all of your text messages, your emails, your interactions, your photos, and all that, and to be able to build and understand the relationships between those things. So it will know who my kids are, it will know that you guys are my friends, it will know that we had a podcast together. But all of that knowledge lives only on my phone. It doesn't go to Apple. It doesn't go out. Now, the big news about Apple making a deal with ChatGPT.
Skeptical faces just.
I know.
I was like, you led with
it
will
stays
know my
on your phone just like
So
everything
listen,
else.
It'll
Apple
know my children,
has, right?
So listen. So the difference is, you can laugh. I already,
I don't think that's
true.
I don't.
It is.
Okay, I think it's nuanced. I think that's a semantic.
Of course it is.
It stays.
I'm literally
on
explaining this like I'm writing it in red crayon. Okay.
Okay.
So consider our audience. Consider we're not getting in the weeds here. If I wanted to do that, I'd let Tim do it. But because I want people to actually enjoy this part of the conversation, I'm going to do it. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway,
nobody
for
would
Siri.
use.
I
Nobody
will
would use
say,
any technology.
I'm excited for Siri.
See, this is the point.
I'll talk
so
about
here's what the
that.
cool
Okay,
thing is.
I will talk
What
about
is
Siri
that.
will be able to judge. So this is the difference. So Siri will be able to say to not just pull from and understand the relationships of all of the stuff on my phone. I can tell Siri, hey Siri, pull up all of the pictures, or the picture of Lillian when she was wearing that Mickey Mouse dress, with the frog on the flagpole, and she can pull that up. Or I can say, hey, pull up pictures of Lillian, Avery, and Henley when they were all the same age, and she'll be able to do that. And then I can say, hey, go ahead and email those to, or message those to whoever, and because now they've given it system integration to be able to execute tasks for you, and they've created an API to allow app developers to allow access to Siri to do the same thing, which is really cool.
Are they
Siri
breaking
ordered
ground
me a
in that
pizza.
area? Because I feel like Google Gemini has done some of that stuff on their Pixel phones
they can
as well.
But the difference is all of that is going out. So the difference is that's what Apple's banking on.
Okay.
Is they've built this system on a chip and the ability to keep all that stuff locked in. And so the only thing that goes out, and this is what's cool, So the big deal that Apple made with Gemini and ChatGPT and OpenAI was to allow Siri to integrate with ChatGPT 4o and Gemini. So if I ask Siri something and she can't put it together on the phone, she will ask me if she can go out and get that. And she will then query using ChatGPT or query with Gemini and bring that back. But it requires an acknowledgement that that's happening. And so that's what Apple's banking on, is that what they're able to do is a full system integration, full API integration to all of their root, to basically the root, no, I'm not going to say the root system, I don't think it goes that far, but like to the application layer, so your apps basically.
But you're giving an AI admin privileges, essentially,
yeah,
within your phone.
Voluntarily,
kind of.
But yes.
Yeah. It's restricted. It's pretty reined in. They did that once with Siri. When Siri first came out, you used to be able to walk into an Apple store before they literally patched it. And it took 48 hours for people to figure this out. But Siri used to have root access. You used to be able to walk in and say, Siri, RM tack all, and she would wipe. Sorry, for those of you who don't do Linux, that means basically wipe the phone.
Just wipe it all.
No way. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm serious. They patched it, but
Anyway, that's for me. I second that, Josh. Though I can see the backlash. I'm
both of you. I forgot.
I'm of the mentality that they already see and know everything, and I have nothing to hide.
Thank you.
I will be the first one to sign up to put a chip in my body, and I will be the first one to say, yes, let me integrate better with technology.
No.
And so I'm excited. Let me finish. And I'm excited for Siri. Like, there's been a huge miss in the home assistant, personal assistant, and they're flirting with it now with some of this tech. But I think Apple is a good, it was last horse in the race. I think it's making a play
on purpose.
I know, and I'm the first person because, I'm always wearing my AirPods, and if you can give me some level of further, again, back to I'd plug these into my body if I could, full-on integration, my efficiency goes through the roof, and I am the first person who loves tapping into that kind of stuff.
Mushrooms might grow inside your ears, just saying.
Hey, usually. Real quick on that, we were talking about this before the show, Tim and I were, and one of the things that I've talked about, because we were talking about smart home stuff. So Tim and myself, we were very early adopters of a lot of smart home tech. Like very, very early. Hue bulbs, and it costs money. Amazon Alexas.
Do you have a shadow or a hickey on your neck right now?
Oh, it's my mic. Sorry.
I lean towards hickey.
Yeah. I mean,
who says you can't be spicy at 40?
That's right.
All right.
40.
Tell
anyway,
me about. So
this is what I was getting at. Now, I'm not wearing my Apple Watch right now. Okay, but I have an Apple Watch that I wear, and
how committed?
I have my phone on me all the time. So I'm gonna get rid of all of my Alexa, Echoes and Dots, because what's gonna end up happening, what I foresee happening, not this year, probably next year. It'll be next year's big ticket item. Is going to be a complete refresh on all of the Apple Home stuff, and it will have
that would be amazing.
It will be part of this full integration.
I would love that.
And so with that, I'm gonna refresh to that. But even then, I've thought about this with when you wear an Apple Watch all the time, or if you're, its battery life's gotten better. The need to have assistants in every room and stuff is not as not as pressing as it used to be.
I'm so excited for this technology. I think it opens up levels of efficiency. Like every night, I don't know about you guys, what your protocol is with smart home tech. I don't have a lot right now. I used to have more. Some of it was finicky. But the Amazon Alexa, every night I have a protocol where I say, Alexa, good night. And don't judge me. It reads a form of a written benediction over my children about my children. That's a prayer. And then
that's cool.
Starts a Bible story and then starts white noise. And it's like an every night ritual. It'll read the Bible to them. Anyway, I love its integration. And if it gave me... and my son...
I remember the first time I outsourced parenting.
That's fine. My son's loving that it can play music for him. And so he's in the other room. Alexa! screaming at the thing, and he's learning how to enunciate his words.
Yes.
It's a whole funny thing.
I love it.
Nick, my kids didn't know what light switches were until we moved to South Carolina.
That's
like
amazing.
my children's first 5 words was one of my children's first 5 words. All of them was Alexa. Like my kids have been listening to the Children's Beginner's Bible and Bible stories, and now my daughter just comes downstairs and she's like, "Did you know?" And I'm like, "You've been asking Alexa questions again when in bed."
That's
Oh my gosh.
But my kids
I-
have also completely listened to The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings.
Cool.
Like they're
That
just
is cool.
crushing audiobooks
Yeah,
before bed.
Yeah.
that is
Tim,
cool.
all right, come
Action,
on, chime
we're,
in.
we're going through the action
No,
Bible.
Dunk
I
away.
just think it's funny that like I am the not this isn't like a dunk or anything. Just I'm in the most technical job of this
Yes,
of
for
this
sure.
group, and I keep my children as far away from all that stuff as possible.
You're smart. And this is the point that I'm making, right? Like you could say, "Hey, we trust Apple to keep everything on local, on the phone and everything, and maybe the technology
In as
is
much
not
as
to
we
the
trust
extent
Apple.
where exactly." But here's the thing: ultimately, at the end of the day, Apple is trying to make money, and the amount of value in personal behavior on their devices is almost too much to not do anything with, right? And so if maybe it's them, but more than likely they're going to outsource your behavior to third parties to help them advertise.
Nope.
Because
They're
Apple
already
can't
doing
do all
did.
that.
Josh, listen,
That
Josh, listen.
That tech already exists.
Yeah, but
When I
it's not.
want
No,
tech
but here's the
already
difference.
exists.
Of all
But
the
what you're
listen.
saying, but in their privacy statement, by utilizing their AI and their machine learning and to learn your behaviors, you are agreeing to them sending that that data to third parties for more
No.
specified
I haven't
or
read. Listen,
directed-
I haven't read this, but this has been the fundamental difference between Apple and the other cell phone companies from the beginning. From the moment we started doing biometric phone screen unlocking and everything else, Apple. The reason that I have completely got
You are so far past me on
That's so
this.
funny. Whoa.
listen. All the other cell phone companies, all of them, all right, all of the other manufacturers, okay, they all have sold the rights to put bloatware and sell data, and they integrate. Like, there's no secret that Google sells your stuff to third party and uses your stuff because
You think
it's outright.
I'm using the factory operating system
I
on
know
my phone?
you're not. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the average consumer. But even beyond that, like all of those services that are free, Apple charges a premium for their product, and they lock it down for a reason. The business model is not designed around the same things that the other ones are. That's why their products cost an arm and a leg, and their products are so good and they work so well that people are not only and historically this is where we've been in the doldrums. I'm not saying it's a perfect company, and you can look at the stock prices apart from this. I'm not. I'm saying that they're pretty good. I mean, they're the most cash liquid company in human history, so there's that. But they're also, what they've done with it has separated themselves, and they're banking and they're leveraging, and it's a key part of their marketing is to say that we don't do that. So I'm not saying that they don't use it internally.
I don't need that a posteriori argument against using all of the smart home stuff. I have like foundational objections to it that I don't need to imagine some future scenario in which Apple becomes Dark Apple and begins
Dark Apple.
I'll watch that movie. I'll watch that movie.
I would totally watch that.
Just
Josh
so
was like,
Steve
I want
Jobs-
that theme.
Back from the dead, just a floating pair of glasses and a turtleneck, and an IV bag. Sorry, is that too soon?
And I do use plenty of smart home stuff. None of that is hosted. None of that is cloud oriented. In fact, ironically, I specifically have to look a lot of times for devices that are Apple HomeKit enabled because Apple HomeKit can be an entirely offline situation.
You trust that?
Yeah. I can block it
See what
from
I did
outside
there?
access at the router level.
I
Yeah.
know. So can I. I'm agreeing with you.
You just don't.
It's great.
I just
It's
don't.
great.
I got
And
time
so
for that. I got nothing to
hope
hide.
Apple is starting is laying the foundation for a standard over privacy policy or privacy standards when it comes to AI. The problem is AI is such a new thing. There are no standards for it.
AI isn't a thing. It is an abused word that means nothing.
This conversation is confusing to me because Apple is not going to gain any more information than it already has from your phone. Right? All of a sudden,
they are not going to gain any more information from my phone than they already have.
No,
that's exactly right.
They're going to gain it from my phone.
It's a moot point because it already knows where you are. It's already using geolocation technology. It's already able to do all the things.
Correct.
The AI on the phone isn't going to give it more access than it already has to my life.
It's going to understand your behavioral interaction.
It can do that already without AI on my phone, can't they?
And also identifying family members as well. That's kind of but
it already does that.
It can do that already.
Look,
Apple can absolutely be like, who's got the last name Liberto in Nicholas's phone? It's already in there.
I'm not saying that they don't already have it. I'm just saying that's not something that I think that is a good thing that the technology should be able to do, because it can be exploited by people outside.
It's already there
of your phone as well. So
anyway,
that's all.
Right.
Interesting. I just don't see the new door it's walking through with this tech. It's like
all I know is that enough information. All I know is that enough information, you guys are when we eventually get swatted, it's not going to be mine or Tim's house. Just saying.
Right, and that's kind of the thing. What you just said, Nick, is you don't see what the new door is that they're walking through, and you are correct. I objected and opted out 10 steps ago.
Correct, which I agree with you, is a door you're not letting them come through. But that's why I found this conversation, not this in our podcast, just in general. It's like, guys, there's nothing new they're getting.
But people are realizing it in a more real way for the first time. Is what's happening. Yeah. They didn't really have a chance to object because they didn't think about it, but because of the more scary level of them realizing how much
Literal
it knows,
magic.
because it's able to do more overtly with it. Now they're suddenly thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't realize they knew that.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're someone with a brain, you already knew they had that access. But
and at the end of the day, here's the thing.
No, you don't understand how little people think about technology.
Yeah, they don't.
They think it's magic as
I know.
much as
I'm with you.
But at the same time, here's the thing. The reality is, people will sell their soul for convenience, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to privacy,
all day,
and this is what I think industry and technology companies bank on, right? Is the idea that, can I get this to be something they cannot live without? For instance, a cell phone. You can't live without a cell phone. I mean, you can, and you probably should. It's but most people are like, I can't. That's You know that it's something that people can't live without because people on food stamps have cell phones, right? It is a
but I think
necessity.
that's a great mental exercise for people to go through, is to ask themselves, can I live with or not even can I live without a cell phone? What would living without a cell phone look like? And what would be the pros and cons of that for my life? Because the problem is that there's exactly that thought-terminating exercise that people have and say, oh, I can't live without blah, blah, blah. And then they cease all further questions of, is this a net positive impact on my life in the way that I'm actually using it?
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
And so what people will do is, the big tech, I think, banks on the idea that you're willing to sell your privacy or have them know very private things about you for the sake of their technology. And so ultimately, at the end of the day, when you say, well, they can already do that, it's because we've it's worth it. The value, the risk on, risk analysis
of it is, it's more,
but
a lot of people are realizing that they never actually made the choice. It just happened without them.
Well, who reads the EULA, right? Who reads the terms of service or the agreement when you actually
But you look at the number of court cases where evidence from people's own phones has been subpoenaed and provided.
Mm-hmm. Totally semi-unrelated. Do you remember, it was like 15 years ago, when all of a sudden on the Apple iPhone we had the new U2 album?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was for me. That was the moment where I was like, one, I love U2, and they got in so much trouble for that. They got in so much trouble. I was like, you just mandatorily said you will now all have my new album, and no one got a choice. I was like, they see and know everything. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was that sense of loss of autonomy. People,
it pissed a lot of people off.
People put a lot of their identities, specifically Apple users of that era. The big draw of Apple was the music platform. That was huge. And suddenly realizing that they weren't in the driver's seat. And so while you're sitting there like, oh, we already knew. That's the point. A lot of people
didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's what's going to be scary when this happens. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a big deal. When this drops, and it's going to create. It's going to be like, you guys remember what it was like to not have a smarphone?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then there were people that had smartphones. And I don't think people understand, smartphones didn't quite have the capabilities. I mean, not quite. It was drastic, but it was enough. Just the simple fact that you could open your phone and go to a web page, or even as simple as like, you didn't have to grab your phone, keys, wallet, iPad, camera, cell phone.
iPad?
Or not iPad,
you
iPod.
were an early adopter of iPad in the early
2000s. But my point is like, it was a big difference. That is nothing compared to what is going to happen in September of this year. In September of this year,
is that the announcement launch date? Is that what they're talking about?
That's when Apple launches new cell phones. And so the new iOS update is what Apple Intelligence is going to be rolling out.
I have the
with.
15
I just
Pro.
don't think
Am I
so.
good?
You're good, but you're the last of good.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
I don't think...
We have the largest market share.
I don't see that compelling, AI is going to rock the world in X way. I think AI is still looking for its killer apps.
Right.
I'm telling
I think
you,
it's going to be
this
like
is the
the
killer
dot-com
app.
bubble a little bit.
No. Listen to me right now. I'm telling you, record this. Well, I will play it back. I will cut this in.
It's going to be
in
so good.
Let us know in the
October,
comments if you agree.
When everyone is there, I'm telling you right now, the sense of FOMO, the Christmas thing to have, the level of impact that this is going to have on people's daily life is going to be... It is going to be on par with the launch of the iPod.
This
it's
is how John
Argyles
Patmos felt. He's sitting there writing down revelation and the doom that is going to befall everybody.
I didn't say it was
the
good.
Romans are out there like, woo, party!
I'm telling you, it's literally going to be the thunder. This is how the Republic gets, with thunderous applause, right? Like literally, you can cut that in, Josh. But that's
Star
literally
Wars
like
reference.
Apple Intelligence.
Yes.
I'm telling you
gosh.
that it's going to be that big of a deal.
It's
So
not. It's not.
telling
I
you
will
it
take
is.
the I will take the under on that.
Take the bet.
all right,
I don't think...
to be continued.
Anyway,
All right, Tim,
anybody
what's your
else
favorite
have anything?
Oh, okay. I did think of something. It's like trivial, but it was meaningful to me. I'm in a new house now, and
Woo-woo.
this house was built early 2000s, right? And the guy who built it, and if you're out there, Richard, somehow listening to this podcast, know that I appreciate the fact that you wired all of your phone jacks in this house in the early 2000s, not with phone cable, not with two-wire silliness, but that you, for whatever reason, there was no reason to do this at the time, wired it all with Cat 5e.
No way.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Dude.
literally, the other 6 wires are just stubbed in right there at the wall. And so I unscrewed this phone jack because it was crooked. I wasn't even looking for this. And then it's
like, what is this?
What? Why is there? Yeah, why is this not
many
an
wires.
RJ45? Yeah, and so I've just been going around my house just replacing phone jacks with RJ45s, and now my house is this. Yeah.
Totally
For those of us
integrated with
that aren't
gigabit Ethernet.
technologically literate, what does that mean? You get fast internet in every room?
Yeah, everything's hardwired. Everything can be hardwired, and I
Okay.
can
So
you're gonna
I can put wireless access points to the extent that I need them distributed throughout the house.
Nice.
Without
So you're
having
gonna
to
get
run any
faster-
new cable.
Right. Faster internal network speeds than wireless.
So,
I love
and
it.
also
We were
PoE,
just talking
so
about
cameras,
that.
things like that can draw power
That's
directly
right.
from the Ethernet.
And your
can
light
do
switches.
those.
I actually just realized that. Like, you don't even need to do Wi-Fi because that's there. You could literally just put a splitter and run what's it called? Networked. What's it called? Light switches. You could do power. You could switch your lights.
Oh, I
with hard
could,
lights.
but because they're light switches, they already have their own power, and so you just get Z-Wave enabled ones.
Yeah.
And you're good. But yeah, for those other things, you can do PoE powered PoE switches. So if I need
Cameras,
more
switches,
splits somewhere, the fact that it's already run through the walls, I can just walk 8 feet in any direction, and there's a line
jack
that I can tap into to use that stuff. So
that is good.
What a legend. Like, what a Nostradamus. Like, we're just going to go and put RJ45s in all of the phone jacks. Throughout, is it upstairs and downstairs?
I'm having to add the RJ45s because they were connected to old-style phone jacks.
Right, okay. So was this
He's
all
having to
throughout,
terminate
like,
him.
through
Nick,
the
it's
basement
okay.
as well?
The nerds will understand. If you've made it this long, folks,
the basement is
we
I
love
was
you.
going to say, if
Thanks
you've
for
made
being
it
here.
this long, the premise is
Lee, ask me for
Build-
my favorite thing. It's either going to be hatred
build
or
a
this.
house and be a good steward of your
and
things.
Think ahead.
Future-proof your things. Yeah, think in 100-year.
12 gauge,
You want,
not 14. You know,
you want a good
just-
book to read? The Clock of the Long Now, long-term thinking. Yes.
Well, could have.
Do we want merch?
I agree with
folks.
that.
Is there a market? Do we want merch? If we want merch, put it in
Yeah,
the
if you're
comments.
still here, then you're a true fan, and leave a
Yes.
comment.
Indeed.
Also,
What was the guy's name again, Tim?
maybe on the next episode.
Tim, what was the guy's name? The reason I thought of merch is I want to get his face or go. What's his name?
Oh,
Dan.
I don't know. I think
Richard?
it was
Huh?
Richard something, but I have to look at
Richard.
the property records. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Y'all Nasty is the one I heard was our
dude,
recommended
yes.
Ooh.
Y'all boys
swag.
nasty.
Y'all
Love
boys
it.
nasty. No, that's very
All
true.
right.
I was at.
Thank you, everyone that's subscribed and has liked our videos. Please come back and continue watching. We got more topics to cover, more things to come.
Drop a new
excited
topic.
To see. Yeah, drop
Give
a
us some new
topic. If you're
topics.
interested, let us know.
We should
definitely
do
would love
solar.
to engage.
We should cover. That'd be a fun 30-minuter. Solar.
I'm here for it.
Oh, I could go on about solar.
That's what I'm
about
saying.
to build
We'd
my
have-
third
we'd have-
system.
That'd be great. I'd love. That'd be informative for the audience. But anyway, we'll see y'all soon.
Cool. Sounds good.
Bye.
Talk to you guys later. I can find the.